I'm back, and I made this video a couple of days ago, but I had a glitch where I halfway across my voice was muted out, so it was like, and it was longer than it needed to be. Of course, that's perpetually my fault. Of having that said, um, the fact that it was muted halfway across, I had to delete the video, so I still have my material here and I'm just kind of upset about that commentary being compromised. But right now, everything is still relevant, and I will like to revisit this issue regarding Parler. Around 2002, 2003, social media came of age. It started off with Friendster, MySpace, led its way to Facebook and YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, yada, yada, yada. From 2002, 2003, that time period, all the way to, I would say, maybe 2014, 2015, maybe early 2016. It was essentially the wild, wild west in terms of freedom of speech in most of social media. But about half a decade ago, things kind of made a turn for the worse. Um, I think that back then every point of view could be found. Actually, since the early days of the internet, it's been that way. And just I didn't care about computers in the 1980s. My dad was a public school teacher, taught math and computer science. He told me, you know, that there will be a day that I'll be tinkering with the computer every day. I told my dad, "You're wrong. There's no way. Computers are boring. There's no way you'll see me tinkering with the computer. What the hell could I do?" Uh, about 8 9 years later, I got myself addicted to the internet, and I am just on the internet all the damn time. That's me. As I said, every point of view could have been found, and when it comes to the burning cultural issues in terms of how we deal with partisan politics in America in particular, elsewhere, but I know America for better or worse, so I can say with a great deal of confidence that I'm correct. Of course, we're talking about echo chambers, confirmation bias, and it's just not restricted to one side or the other, but it's from all sides. I mean, but it was wonderful because you still have battles of ideas in a lot of forums where people kind of take on their opponents. Yeah, you found conspiracy theories, you found a lot of racism, a lot of religious extremism, and in various ways and forms. Whether we're talking about Alex Jones or David Duke or Louis Farrakhan or Richard Spencer or Lawrence Southern, Steve Anderson or the Westboro Baptist Church, ISIS, KKK, you name it, it was all there. And then the council culture came about. Flipping my page for my notes. Um, the free speech, the issue of free speech, when it comes to social networking, comes to internet service providers. Well, I mean, there are issues when it comes to controversial content. And so whenever bad things happen, like the Sandy Hook massacre or Boston bombing or QAnon or whatever, whatever that's causing a lot of ruckus, and where there is a potential of people's lives being in danger, like Sandy Hook, um, the family that were had members killed in that shooting. Family got stalked by fans of Alex Jones, or you got the QAnon fuckers that went into the U.S. Capitol almost 2 weeks ago, storming in there, like the QAnon shaman Viking. I mean, so we're talking about free speech, and it can lead to the potential of violent actions. And even if you're a free speech advocate, a genuine concern would be a litigation. Okay, I run this social network. I run this social network, and such will say crazy things and starts to go on a shooting spree and kill a bunch of people, or an act of terrorism takes place, and it all goes back to this website or this social media form or commentary. And so you got people worried about potential of lawsuits. That is a valid concern. Now, as I said, when Alex Jones, his InfoWars was taken down, I opposed it. Uh, I oppose his InfoWars being taken down. I actually am opposed. I'm an opponent of Donald Trump, but I'm opposed to having his Twitter account taken away from it, and social media, and the entire social media deplatforming him. I mean, but I understand their concerns about litigations and even property rights concerns I'm concerned about, but secondary with property rights, because social media, the internet, this is the new public square. And if you're silenced there, you just can't be a town crier on a soapbox. People don't pay attention to somebody anymore in print media as much as they used to, or even television. A lot of things are done through the internet. So the internet, the World Wide Web, is the new public square. So my solution to all this is to set up the entire internet, and in particular social media, as a public utility, meaning that free speech rights is guaranteed. Oh, well, of course, just short of shouting fire in a theater or threatening somebody. Websites and social media sites should not be shut down, no matter how much we may disagree with it. I mean, it just shouldn't be. But right now, from 2015 to the present, you have left-wing political correct activists, politically correct activists. You have right-wing politically correct activists, each side demanding their own safe space. Ben Shapiro from Daily Wire complains about censorship of the left, by the left, basically lumping Silicon Valley as liberal leftists. They're not. And I'm sorry, Ben Shapiro. Thinking that two dudes should get married ain't necessarily left wing. It may offend your sensibilities, but you'll have to get over that. For somebody who was born 1984, you certainly behave like somebody born in 1924. Not that there's anything wrong with people being born 1924, but we evolved. So he complains about people who will sit there and criticize Muslims getting repercussions from it. But people like Ben Shapiro believes that people should go to jail or pay a stiff fine for engaging in a boycott of Israel, BDS. If you want to criticize Muslims, just that's your right. You want to boycott from Israel, that is your right. It is not my business or Ben Shapiro's business or anybody else's business what people do. And by the same token, if the Muslims want to criticize Christians and Jews and atheists, that's their right too. Everybody's got a little fucking safe space these days. And no, Ben Shapiro, it isn't anti-Semitic to criticize Israel. But I'm sure Ben Shapiro, I'm sure that the right wing, maybe not so much with Ben Shapiro, because Ben Shapiro is having he hates Alex Jones's guts, and Alex Jones hates Ben Shapiro's guts. He may give a little bit of lip service on why it's bad to take down InfoWars, but I don't believe him. Ben Shapiro is only concerned about his own free speech. And I sure as hell don't think that he's concerned about Combo Couch having their channel taken down occasionally. They've been fucked with. You don't know what Combo Couch is? I highly recommend that program. That's co-hosted by Craig Pasajardula and Fiorella Isabel. It is affiliated with the Mikasa Sakasa Network, run by Nico House. You get really good information, freedom of speech, military-industrial complex, anti-war issues, domestic politics. I highly recommend that network. They're doing what TYT, the Young Turks, should be doing, but no longer really doing it. Well, let me go on. So, right now with Silicon Valley, they're wanting a little ministries of truth set up to decide what is valid news and what is not valid news. I'm not particularly happy with the idea of wealthy people in Silicon Valley linked with our intelligence agency here in the United States, forming these ministries of truth with the establishment media. And I sure as hell don't take comfort trying to meet the approval of Fox News or CNN or MSNBC or the ABC, CBS, NBC. Remember the war during the Bush years? With all the censorship that's going on within social media, people who were against the war in 2003, 2004, theoretically could have been shut down because CNN and MSNBC and Fox decided voices against the war are a bunch of conspiracy theorists, when in actuality, those who were against the war were correct. Yeah, I have a problem with Facebook and Twitter taking down political content. But there's Parler and Gab. Parler is, from what I can tell, a softly conservative site. When I say soft, I don't mean like alt-right shit, but basically they're Republican leaning, and apparently when they were in existence or operating, they like to silence and shut up left-wing voices. That's just as bad as Facebook and Twitter doing that against conservatives. Gab, a white nationalist site, for what I can tell. Something that's just catered for Caitlin Bennett. But here's the thing. Parler, as I said, conservative leaning, silence leftists. And that's wrong. And I condemn it all across the board. As I said, social media and the internet itself is the new public square. And in order for free speech to be protected, and in order for people who run social media to be protected from lawsuits, ensure free speech rights, ranking it as a public utility is the only answer. I heard some critics when I discussed this say, well, you know, so many old companies or what have you, they have their right. No, property rights doesn't apply here. Free speech rights before property rights. If you like what you heard, press like and comment. If you hate it, well, tough shit. We'll have a conversation. Share the content on this channel. As a First Amendment absolutist, it's my duty to inform you that, encourage you to create a platform, especially if you're passionate about something, since we're all the muckrakers of our time. Hit that subscribe button, please. And until next time, peace. And Bernie Sanders for president in the year 2024.